Phase 1. Denial. You are 19 when an elevator falls 13 floors and stops because you decide it has already arrived. The emergency lights flash once. Your closest friend grabs the handrail. The floor drops beneath both of you. The display changes from 13 to 12, then 11, then nothing. The cables scream above the ceiling. You do not think about physics. You think about the lobby. The doors open. You are standing on the ground floor. No impact. No emergency brakes. No explanation. Your friend runs into the lobby and looks back at you. How did you do that? I didn't. The building manager checks the elevator. Every cable is intact. Security footage shows the car entering the shaft on the 13th floor and opening at the lobby 1 second later. There is no footage of it moving between them. You call it a malfunction. The next morning, the cracked screen on your phone repairs itself while you are staring at it. You call it heat damage reversing. A week later, rain stops above your head, but continues on both sides of the sidewalk. You call it wind. Then your coffee cup refills after you complain that it is empty. Your friend watches the liquid rise. You need to stop pretending. You knock the cup from the table. It breaks. For half a second, you feel relief. Then every piece climbs back into place. A man at the next table quietly closes a silver device in his hand. You do not notice him leave. Over the next month, strange coincidences follow you. Locked doors open when you are late. Money appears in a jacket you have not worn in years. People forget arguments the moment you regret them. You keep inventing reasons, stress, luck, bad memory, anything except the truth. The Foundation begins observing from a distance. A hidden Kant counter records the same pattern each time something impossible happens. The world around you becomes less stable. You become more real. One evening, your friend calls while crossing a road. You hear brakes, a horn, then silence. You turn the corner and see a delivery truck sliding toward them. There's no time to pull them away. You only have time to reject what is happening. No, the truck disappears. Not stops, not turns. Disappears. The road changes with it. Painted lane markings replace the tire marks. The traffic light becomes green. Every witness continues walking as if no vehicle was ever there. Your friend remains in the center of the street. They remember the truck. So do you. Nobody else does. A black van blocks the intersection. People in plain clothes step out. One holds a scanner. Another carries a metal case, humming, with a low mechanical vibration. Your friend asks who they are. The woman in front does not answer. She looks at the reading on her scanner. 78 external, 146 internal. Then she looks at you. We know what you are. You shake your head. The streetlights flicker. I'm normal. The metal case activates. For the first time in months, the world feels heavier. The vanished truck reappears 20 meters away and crashes into an empty barrier. Your knees hit the pavement. The woman kneels beside you. Denial ends now. Behind her, the Foundation team raises its weapons. Your friend reaches toward you. A transparent wall appears between you without anyone touching a control. You stare at it. The wall is yours. And this time, you cannot explain it away. Phase 2. Experimentation. You are 22 when the Foundation places a red cube on a table and asks you to turn it blue. The containment room has white walls, one chair, and no corners, deep enough to hide anything. A Scranton Reality Anchor operates behind reinforced glass. Its vibration presses against your thoughts. The doctor sits on the other side of the table. Do not change the cube yet. You look at it. It turns blue. The doctor writes something down. I said, not yet. I didn't do it. The cube becomes red again. You both look at each other. Denial is no longer convincing. So you begin testing. First, small things. Color, temperature, weight. A coin becomes 2 coins. A glass of water becomes warm without releasing steam. A steel ball falls upward until it touches the ceiling. The doctor measures every change. Range, duration, concentration, line of sight, emotional state. The more certain you are, the easier reality obeys. The more frightened you become, the less precise the result. The Foundation calls you an ontokinetic humanoid. A recovered GOC file uses a shorter name, type green. You start keeping your own records. You can alter objects inside the room. You cannot reliably affect anything you cannot perceive. You can make a locked door open. You cannot know what waits behind it. You can change memory, but only when you understand the memory you are replacing. The doctor tells you never to test that ability on people. You agree. Then you begin testing when nobody is watching. The camera skips 3 seconds. The cube moves without changing the motion sensor. A meal tray arrives with a food item you imagined but never requested. You learn that the reality anchor does not remove your power. It makes every change feel like lifting something impossibly heavy. You learn to wait for maintenance cycles. You learn which technicians look at the monitors and which only check the numbers. You learn the exact distance between your room and the control station. The experiments stop being about what you can do. They become about what the Foundation believes you can do. During your next evaluation, the doctor places a photograph of your friend on the table. They have requested contact. Then let me see them. We need evidence that you can remain stable first. The word bothers you. Stable. As if the room is normal and you are the disturbance. The lights fail before you can answer. A sight alarm begins. The reality anchor shuts down. For the first time since containment, the pressure leaves your head. The door unlocks. The corridor beyond it is folding into itself. A separate anomaly has breached containment. Foundation personnel run past while the geometry changes around them. The doctor is trapped on the other side of a corridor that now loops back into the same doorway. Stay inside your chamber. Security orders. The doctor looks at you through 3 repeating versions of the hallway. You could escape. Nobody can stop you while the anchor is offline. Instead, you step into the corridor. You imagine it as a straight line. The walls resist. You push harder. 3 hallways become 1. The doctor reaches your side. Then part of the ceiling collapses. You raise one hand. The concrete stops above the doctor's head. Every fragment hangs motionless. Security stares at you. You lower the debris gently. No one speaks until the reality anchor restarts. The pressure returns. The corridor becomes ordinary. The doctor looks at the blue indicator behind the glass. You could have left. I know. Later, the Foundation shows you the Hume readings. Your internal level tripled during the breach. The doctor asks how much more you could have changed. You look at the red cube. It becomes a small red bird. The bird looks at both of you. Then it becomes a cube again. I don't know. That answer frightens the doctor more than any number. Your containment procedures change. 2 reality anchors. Remote staff. No physical contact. But your behavior changes too. You stop altering the room for 30 days, then 60, then 100. The Foundation believes the new machines are working. You know the truth. For the first time, you are choosing not to use your power. Phase 3. Stability. You are 28 when the Foundation gives you an apartment with windows that show a sky you are not allowed to touch. The apartment sits inside a residential wing beneath Site 17. The sunlight is artificial. The street outside ends at a painted wall. But there is a kitchen, a desk, and a door you are permitted to open without asking. The Foundation calls it supervised reintegration. You call it a larger cell. Your daily routine is deliberately ordinary. Breakfast at 7. Work in the archive at 9. Psychological evaluation twice a week. A supervised visit from your friend every month. You know exactly how easy it would be to change everything. You could turn the painted street into a real city. You could make every camera forget you. You could remove the doors between yourself and the surface. You do not. Stability is not the point where your abilities stop growing. It is the point where you understand their boundaries and choose boundaries of your own. You repair broken objects only in private. You reduce the reality anchor's headaches without disabling it. You change the taste of bad coffee, but never the cup in someone else's hand. During visits, your friend watches you carefully, not because they think you will hurt them, because they know you could make them stop being afraid. One afternoon, they place a travel bag beside the table. I'm leaving the country. The room becomes quiet. For how long? I don't know. You said you would keep visiting. I said I would try. You feel the thought before you act on it. Stay. One word. One small change inside their mind. No guards would notice. No machine could prove it. Your friend looks at you. Did you just do something? The lights tremble. You close your eyes. The thought disappears. No. They believe you. That matters more than making them stay. The visit ends. You return to the archive and discover a file left open on your terminal. Contingency. Green glass. The document describes your termination procedure. Reality anchors activate first. A visible assault team draws your attention. The actual strike comes from outside your perceived range. Speed. Surprise. No warning. You read the file twice. The Foundation has spent 6 years teaching you control while preparing to kill you, if that control ever fails. An alarm interrupts the thought. Reality failure. In the residential wing. The artificial street begins changing. Windows open into rooms that do not belong to the site. Staff members lose their shadows. The sky above the painted wall becomes deep enough to fall into. Security orders evacuation. The reality anchors overload. The doctor who supervised your first tests appears on the emergency channel. We need you to stabilize the wing. The same people who prepared your death are asking you to save them. You step into the street. You do not erase the anomaly. You define limits. The false sky may remain, but gravity must point down. The impossible rooms may exist, but their doors must return to the same corridor. Every person may keep one shadow and no more. Reality settles, rule by rule. The effort is precise, controlled. Nothing changes beyond what is necessary. When the wing stabilizes, the doctor smiles through the screen. You did it. Then gunfire sounds behind you. A second team has entered without Foundation markings. GOC. Their scanners identified the Hume spike. To them, a powerful type green inside a failing site is not a patient. It is an immediate threat. Your friend has returned to retrieve the travel bag left during the visit. They step into the corridor at the wrong moment. An operative fires. You decide the shot never reached them. The bullet stops, then becomes dust. Every weapon in the corridor becomes too heavy to lift. The operatives fall to their knees. Your friend looks at you. The fear in their face is different now. Not fear of what might happen, fear of you. You could remove it. You know exactly which memory to change. For 1 second, you choose not to. Then another operative reaches for a detonator, connected to the reality anchors. The thought enters your mind. Why should any of them be allowed to decide what you are? The detonator becomes a dead moth. The cameras turn toward you, the doors lock, and every person in the corridor forgets how to say no. Phase 4, the child god. You are 31 when an entire Foundation site begins calling you by a name you invented that morning. The GOC team remains kneeling in the corridor. Foundation security arrives and lowers its weapons before you ask. The doctor approaches slowly. What did you do to them? Nothing harmful. One operative tries to speak. No sound leaves his mouth. You smile. I made them calm. Your friend stands behind the security line. Let them go. You look at them. The fear is still there. So you remove it. Their shoulders relax. Their expression softens. They step toward you. The change is small. Merciful, you tell yourself. Why should someone suffer when you can rewrite the cause? The doctor sees what happened. That was not your choice to make. The sentence irritates you. The doctor forgets it. Then forgets being afraid of you. Then remembers supporting your release from the beginning. Reality bends more easily now because you no longer hesitate. The containment wing becomes an open hall. Concrete changes into white stone. Security uniforms become ceremonial coats. Every file identifying you as an SCP rewrites itself. You are not contained. You are the reason the site exists. Staff members begin thanking you for correcting their memories. Somewhere, you know the gratitude is artificial. The knowledge feels unimportant. You restore lost limbs, erase terminal illnesses, bring back objects destroyed years ago. Then you begin improving people who did not ask. A guard becomes braver. A researcher becomes more loyal. A prisoner becomes incapable of anger. Each change solves a problem. Each person becomes easier to manage. Your friend follows you through the transformed site. You promised you would never change me. I removed fear. You removed my choice. For a moment, the original memory returns. Their face changes. They remember every time you edited them. The horror returns with it. You could apologize. Instead, you make them smile. Outside the site, the Foundation and GOC prepare together. Cont counters show the surrounding area dropping below 40 Humes. Your internal reading exceeds 300. Reality anchors are moved into position, but nobody believes they will hold you for long. The first assault begins through the main gate. Armored vehicles, visible weapons, a threat large enough to hold your attention. You turn the vehicles into trees. The weapons become glass. The road folds upward and traps the strike team inside a loop. You laugh. The site staff laugh with you. A voice enters the public address system. You cannot predict what you cannot perceive. The doctor's voice. You erase the speakers. The message continues from the walls. You cannot control what you do not know exists. You expand your awareness across the site. Every room, every person, every weapon. You find the reality anchors and crush them into silent metal. The pressure disappears. For one perfect second, nothing resists you. You announce that the old world is over. Nobody will suffer. Nobody will leave. Nobody will disagree. Your friend stands beside you, smiling because you require it. Then the smile breaks. Just slightly. Enough for you to notice. Please, they say. The word is real. You turn toward them. That is why you do not perceive the second operation. The visible assault was never meant to succeed. It was the fixation. Far beyond the boundary of your attention, a hidden system activates for less than 1 second. Reality becomes ordinary. Not permanently, only long enough. You try to turn the moment back. For the first time in years, nothing happens. You hear one distant impact. The white stone walls become concrete again. The ceremonial coats become security uniforms. Every false memory begins collapsing at once. Your friend looks at you without the smile. The last thing you understand is not that your power had limits. You always knew that. It is that Phase 4 began. The moment other people stopped being people and became parts of your preferred reality. The world does not obey your final thought. And for 1 second, before everything goes dark, you are human again.